So, prep has prep is coming to an end, and I can feel it.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
Welcome back to Farm Fit. Thank you for listening, and thank you to everybody who has subscribed and followed me to this point. We are just over, well, just under now, 2 weeks away from Provincials 2026, and this video is just going to be a quick recap of my the most recent week of training and how things have gone. I have deload. I've got one more week of training, and then I have deload. I will do probably a full recap of my prep um, during the deload week. I'm also hoping to do a bit of a breakdown on some of the other weight classes and maybe get a couple of other weight class athletes on here from the men and from the women just to talk about how their prep has gone, what they think about the weights and stuff, because it's been kind of one-sided. It's been mostly myself in the 120 division. I have spoken to Sean prior to this, Sean Miron from the 105s. I had Dan Bartlett on talking about the heavyweight division. I'd like to get some of the ladies on to talk about the women's divisions and some other lighter weight classes as well, just to try to make it a little bit more even across the board because it gets kind of one-sided just listening to me bitch and complain about everything. So I'd like to break it up a bit. I'm hoping to do that in the next couple of weeks before provincials, obviously, and then even afterwards as well. Talk to some of the winners and podium people, and even some of the folks that don't. Just because I enjoy doing the interviews and I like talking to people. It gets kind of boring just talking to myself, and I'm sure it gets boring for everybody listening to just listen to me babble on. And if they're unfortunate enough to be watching this on YouTube to see me sit here and do this and just watch my mustache get more and more egregious. So, prep has prep is coming to an end, and I can feel it
sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
physically and mentally. This week started off on the wrong foot, even with squats and trap bar deadlift. I was so tired training Monday. Last weekend I spent in the field spraying soybeans, which does take a little bit out of me mentally, not so much physically. There's a little bit of a physical element into it, sitting and turning and in and out of the tractor and walking fields when you have to. Not super physical, but it's taxing mentally to be on all the time, all day for 2 days in a row in that heat. And I think it taxed me more than I was expecting because Monday, when I was trying to train, I was practically falling asleep. Like I could have put my head down on the bench and gone right to bed. So I ended up doing a lighter press day on Tuesday, nothing crazy. I took Wednesday off completely because I was pretty much gassed at that point. Came back strong on Thursday with a good press day and then ended up doing events to end the week. And events were a bit of a mixed bag. The tire flip felt good, although the tire that I have at the gym is a little bit smaller in terms of its height and it's not as heavy. The tire that we're using is thicker, so I'll be able to put my chest into it a little bit more. I'm going to go down the day before provincials on the Friday to weigh in and to touch it and feel it because I need to get my hands on it
what?
to really know how big it is and just how it's going to feel in my hand to get it to move.
Ha! Gay!
So that's my plan for that. But outside of that, it felt pretty good. Yoke went good. I ended up doing 810 pounds, not for very far. It was only about 20-ish feet. So I didn't go very far with it, but it's the heaviest I've done and did it in one go without any drops and managed to keep it up. We got the list of the rules in the email, and I didn't train with my grip shirt this week on yoke because I found out in the email that we're not allowed to use grip shirts for the yoke. We're allowed to use them for the circus dumbbell, can't use them for the yoke, and can't use them for loading. Loading makes sense because that's kind of like cheating. Why we're not allowed to use them for the yoke, I'm not sure. I would think it's more of a safety thing to use them to keep the yoke in place. There's not that much of an advantage. And I know there's going to be the argument of like, well, gives too much of an advantage to keep it propped up, fine. But then why are we allowed to use it on the circus dumbbell? And that's where guys will get the argument of, oh well, it's safer to when you rack the circus dumbbell to have the grip shirt there to hold it in place. Okay, fair, but the same argument could be made for the yoke. So to not allow it for the yoke but to allow it for the circus dumbbell was kind of a decision, but it's not really going to make that big of a difference on how I perform. It just means that I've got to make sure that I've got a firm hand placement and a big back and keep my upper back nice and tight to create that nice shelf for the crossbar to sit on. Uh, and being allowed to use it for the circus dumbbell is always nicer because, like I said, it keeps it firmly in place to keep the contact without it slipping. Especially the big globe one, the loadable one that I have. Um, Not so much, I don't think, but the globe ones, because they're a lot more round and a lot smoother, you definitely want to make sure that when you load it, it's in place. Now, full disclosure, this might be a hot take. For this kind of event, I don't think grip shirts should be allowed at all because these shows get sponsors. Sponsors pay for a spot on the shirt to have their logo there. The sponsors are what help makes the show. I think we as athletes have a responsibility to represent those sponsors the whole show, the whole time. I don't think we're doing anything that warrants needing the grip shirt in this event, especially if like I said, just chalk the hell out of your shoulder if you have to and go from there. I tend to not use a grip shirt if, to represent those sponsors. Having come from, you know, minor league baseball and even men's softball for that matter, where we rely solely on sponsorships to pay for uniforms, league fees, lighting on diamonds. We're relying on the same thing here for provincials to help pay for venues, to help pay for time. Like the sponsors are what puts these shows together along with the volunteers. And I think it's our responsibility as athletes to represent those sponsors as much as we can. That's just I might do a whole video on amateur strongman hot takes because I've got a few, but that's just my opinion on that. It's not going to change how I perform. It's not going to make a difference. I'm still going to probably use my grip shirt for the dumbbell. I may not. I may just cut the sleeves off my shirt and carry on. We'll see. That'll be a game time decision. But for the rest of it, there's no need for it. We won't need the grip shirt for. I mean, you can't use it for the yoke. You won't use it for loading the deadlift. You would never need the grip shirt for deadlifts, and the tire flip, you don't need one. So really only one event is where we're going to be allowed to use it, and that's fine. It's just that's the way of the world. So outside of that, how am I feeling? Beat up. I'll be honest, mentally falling apart at the seams, and physically, yeah, I'm feeling it. This has been a long prep. This has been probably my longest prep by about a week. I took about 12 weeks to prep for Goliath Games. This is about a 13-week prep from Goliath Games into provincials. I'm pretty sure I did that math right. And it's been go 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 right out of the gate. So I'm at that point now where I'm trying not to second guess everything I've done in prep. I'm trying not to go down the rabbit hole of coulda, woulda, shoulda, because if ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas. And I can't change it anyways. It's all done. As my coach says, the hard work's done. I'm not going to gain anything in the last 2 weeks that's going to make that much of a difference. All the hard work's been put in for the 10 weeks before that or the 11 weeks before that. So now it's just a matter of staying healthy, staying in one piece, getting the most out of this last week, and then deloading. Body weight wise, I am at comp, like I'm just under 264. I need to maintain this for 2 weeks, stay nice and hydrated, and keep the body together, make sure I'm getting enough sleep. That's really all I can do right now is just maintain. And I'm going to do that for this week coming up. I don't have anything that's crazy. I'm going to really focus hard on my events this week coming up for one more time and then deload. And I've talked to a couple of guys from my weight class and from other weight classes. That's kind of the general feeling is everyone's like, okay, this prep's been good, but we're ready to go. Like let's just get it over with. And not in a negative way, not in a, oh, let's get this over with. It's just like I'm ready. Like let's do it. So waiting to see the athlete list, which should be coming out this week, I assume. Being like I said, we're down to it now. Registration closed a few weeks ago. Hopefully everybody's paid. And I just hope for the sake of the sport and for us here in Ontario for amateur strongman, I just hope we have a really good turnout. I think we had close to 20 guys register for the 120 division. I hope we get that many signed up, or at least close to it, because why not? And this is so this might be another hot take. And Andrew Wilson posted this on his story this week, and I agree with him. And Andrew and I have butted heads on some things before, but I will give credit where it's due. I agree with him on this. If your coach tells you you're not ready to compete, don't go. Fire your coach on the spot, because that is such, and I try not to cuss on this channel, but that is bullshit. You learn by doing. You learn by going out and doing the show. Compete. I This is the first year I have not competed at a lot of shows. I've done Goliath Games and that's it. Last year I did Weight Pit, Muskoka Mayhem, Battle at the Brink, Provincials. The year prior I did the year prior I did a powerlifting show. Oh no, sorry, that was last year. Last year I did Powerlifting King and Queen in February, then did Weight Pit, then I did Muskoka Mayhem, Battle at the Brink, and Provincials, and then competed in Powerlifting Nationals to end 2025. In 2024, I did Weight Pit, Mayhem, Brink, Provincials, Nationals, and then a powerlifting show to end 2024. I compete. I love to compete. I love going out there and competing. That's how you learn, by doing the events. If you've qualified for provincials, there's no reason to not be there unless it's financial or personal. I give grace for those because that's the reason I have not competed as much this year as I have wanted to. I've gone to help, but for personal reasons, I have not competed that much. And I feel bad doing it, or not doing it, I guess. But you learn by competing. This is turning into a bit of a TED talk, and I'm going to try and save this energy for a different show. But I just want to see a good turnout this year. I want to see a bunch of people out there giving it all they have and having a good time. That's what I want to see from provincials in 2 weeks. I'm trying to hold on to that energy as I finish my prep because I feel like complete garbage. But that's pretty much it. This is going to be a really short video, really short update. I've got some things planned coming up, but outside of that, stay strong. I appreciate everybody watching. If I can get this channel to 100 subs, I will be giving something away. I don't know what, but I will give something away. It might just be small. It might be a hat. It might be a shirt. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but if I can get this channel to 100 subs, I think I'm at about 70 right now, then I'm going to give something away because thank you. Thank you to everybody who listens, to anybody who sends me DMs or text messages and says, "Hey, I listened. I liked this. I liked that. I didn't like this. I didn't agree with that." Amazing. I appreciate all the feedback. Any and all of it is appreciated. I appreciate you, and I will catch you all on the flip side. So stay strong.